So we are going to start on our backs in constructive rest. Feet out to the outer edges of the mat, knees dropping in towards each other, arms maybe down at your side in anatomical position. So maybe about 45 degrees away from your body, palms facing up. And then just give a moment here to just let your body settle into place. Let your shoulders get comfortable. Head and neck are comfortable. Make sure your tailbone feels good. And then once you feel like you've got your body in a nice, comfortable position, take your awareness right down to your feet and notice if you're holding any tension or gripping in your toes. Can you allow your toes to soften? Can you let your feet get soft and heavy on the floor? Can you let your knees get a little heavier in towards each other? And can you let your hips and your butt get nice and heavy into the earth? And then just for a moment here, can you tune into your stomach or to the soft tissue of your belly and just notice the gentle rise and fall as you breathe in and breathe out. So no need to change or force the breath, but just notice that natural movement that happens as you breathe in and out. And then staying tuned into the breath, but now can you draw a line down to the backside of your body and kind of get aware of where the bottom of the back of your ribs are and just feel that connection to the floor and let your ribs get just a little heavier into the earth, maybe a little softer in your belly, a little softer in the muscles around the ribs. And then see if that softness or that heaviness can find its way up into your chest and your shoulders, and maybe let your chest and your shoulders get a little heavier into the ground as well. And then start to tune back into that rhythm of breath. And as you tune into your rhythm of breath, you're going to take some movement into your hands. So as you inhale, you're going to stretch your fingers out nice and wide. And then as you exhale, you're just going to roll your fingers into a light little fist, maybe give a gentle squeeze of your hand. Inhale and open your fingers wide, stretch through your palms, stretch through the fingers. And then exhale, roll your fingers in, a light little fist, and maybe give a squeeze. Inhale, roll your fingers out, stretch through the fingers and the palms. Exhale as you roll the fingers in and give a little squeeze. Inhale, roll the fingers out, stretch through the fingers and the palms. Exhale, roll the fingers in and give a little squeeze. Nice. And then relax your hands, relax your shoulders, relax your jaw. And then one more moment here in this bit of stillness. Set an intention to honor your mind and your body throughout your practice. Never doing anything in your practice that would cause your body pain, and treating yourself with love, care, and respect. And then with that intention set, a gentle nod of your head up and down. So it's going to be a tiny micro movement. So maybe your nose is lifting up a centimeter and down a centimeter. So it's not going to be a big giant movement because the back of your head is connected to the floor. But as you gently tilt your head up and down, just kind of tune in and notice, how does the back of your neck feel? Can you feel that little bit of movement as the skin and your hair is kind of pressed against the floor? So it's going to create a little trap. Can you feel that little bit of movement of the connective tissue on your head and the back of your neck? Take one more little nod of the head up and down. And then as your head comes to center to a neutral position, turn your head gently side to side. And it can be a small range of motion to start. And then as you start to find a little warmth in your neck muscles, then maybe you start to increase your range of motion a little bit. Take one more turn of your head side to side, and then bring your head back to center. Arms are going to come into our I Dream of Genie arms, or that little square across the chest. And then pull your elbows gently side to side. And then as you pull your elbows gently side to side, tune in and notice your shoulder blades in the back of the body. So notice if your shoulders kind of want to pull away from the floor with you. Can you keep your shoulders grounded into the earth and find most of the movement coming out of the shoulder socket, so the elbows pull side to side, but the shoulder heads stay fairly grounded? Take one more pull of the elbows side to side, and then release your hands down alongside your hips, and then walk your feet in so feet are about hip width distance apart. Maybe bring your heels a little closer to your butt as well. And then move right into a pelvic tilt. As you exhale, press your low back into the ground. Inhale and release to the natural curve of your back. Exhale as you press your low back into the ground. Inhale to release. Exhale to press. Inhale to release. One more time, exhale to press. Inhale to release. And now bring your awareness down to your feet. And as you inhale, just your toes, lift your toes away from the floor and maybe give your toes a little spread. And then as you exhale, just let your toes soften and melt towards the earth. Inhale, lift your toes up and maybe spread your toes. Exhale and soften your toes down. One more just like that. Inhale, lift your toes. Exhale and lower your toes. And then move into your heels. As you inhale, lift your heels away from the floor. Exhale and float your heels back down. Inhale and lift your heels up. Exhale, lower your heels down. Inhale to lift your heels up. Exhale to lower your heels down. Nice. And then we're going to take some graduating bridges. So as you inhale, you're going to curl your tailbone up, maybe so you could slide one hand under your tailbone. And then as you exhale, lower down, pull both knees into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze, and then release your feet back down to the ground. Hands down. Inhale, lift your tailbone up. So now maybe two hands high. Maybe you could slide two hands under your tailbone. And then exhale, lower down, pull both knees up into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze. And then release both feet to the ground, hands down. Inhale, lift your tailbone up about 3 hands high, coming a little higher now. Exhale to lower down. Pull both knees up into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. Feet to the ground, hands down. Inhale, lift your tailbone up now, coming a little bit higher, 4 hands high. Exhale to lower down. Pull both knees into your chest. Give yourself a light little squeeze. Awesome. One more time here. Feet down, hands to the ground. Inhale and lift up about 5 hands high, or as high as feels good to you. And then exhale, lower it on down, pull both knees into your chest, give yourself a light little squeeze. And then we're going to move into some butterfly circles here. So we're going to take the knees out and away from each other, up towards the ceiling, and then in towards the chest. And then just smooth that circle out. Go a couple times in this direction, noticing how your hips feel. Awesome. And then when you're ready, switch directions and go the other way. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, pull both knees into your chest, a light little squeeze, and then hang on to your right knee. Let your left leg go nice and long all the way down to the end of the mat. Take your right knee, draw it in a couple circles, go in one direction. And then draw your knee in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And now we're going to move the thigh slightly away from the chest, but we're going to take it slightly across the body. So not a supine twist, but just a little stretch through the outside of the thigh down into the glutes, down into that glute medius, so the glutes in the side. And then take a nice big breath here. Awesome. When you're ready, release, pull that knee back into the chest, one more squeeze, and then bring the left knee into meet, both knees into the chest, hold on to your left knee, send your right leg nice and long, let your heel find the mat. Take that left knee, draw it in circles, go in one direction. And then take that knee, draw it in circles, go the other way. Beautiful. And then move that thigh slightly away from the chest. Bring the knee across the body just slightly. So not supine twist, but just finding that stretch through the IT band and down into the glute. Awesome. And then pull that knee back into the chest. Right knee comes in as well. And then we're going to switch our grab, holding onto the backs of the thighs, and start to find a little rock and roll. We're going to find a little bit of massage the length of the spine, catch a little momentum, and then see if you can find a little balance in a nice little boat. So find a lifted chest, energy out through the feet, lifting up through the crown of the head. Beautiful. And then once you found a little bit of balance, pause just for a second. And then from here, we're going to take it into an easy seated position. So if you can, crisscross your legs, set your feet down onto the ground, and then readjust so you're finding a nice anchored seat into your sits bones. Find a nice tall spine, and then we're going to move into the head and the neck here. So we're going to jut the chin forward, keep your shoulders down and back like you're making that little chicken head, and then pull the chin back like you're making a little double chin. Jut the chin forward, keep the shoulders down, pull the chin back, and this time hold here just for an extra second. Feel that nice little bit of strength in the muscles in the neck, and then jut the chin forward one more time, pull the chin back, make that little double chin, hold it there for a second, and then find a neutral spine and take a couple little shrugs of the shoulders just to release anything that you may have come across in the muscles in the neck. Nice. And then set your right hand down at your side, left hand reaches up, take a nice big side bend. Beautiful. Lift up and take it over to the other side. Left hand down, right hand reaches up. Nice. And then lift up with control right into a seated twist. Left hand's going to find the right knee, right hand behind you. Think about getting nice and tall here. When you're ready, release, unwind, and take it over to the other side. Right hand finds the left knee, left hand behind you. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, release. And now we're just going to lean back into the sits bones so we can swing our legs out, feet about shoulder width distance apart. Super generous bend in the knees, and take a couple of windshield wipers here, just dropping the knees side to side. Awesome. And now we're going to take it a little bit further. So as you drop your knees over to the right, you're going to kind of roll over onto that hip, walk your hands behind you. Nice tall hands, find a nice lifted chest. So we're getting a little bit of a ringing out sensation in our center. And then when you're ready, release, take it over to the other side. You're going to roll over onto that left hip. Hands are going to come behind you, a little ringing out of your center and a lift in your chest. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, bring it back to center, and then either scoot your bum back or walk your legs forward into a little seated ragdoll. So super generous bend in the knees, feet about hip or shoulder distance apart. Lift your belly, lift your chest, let your belly and your chest just rest on your thighs. Hands can touch the feet or the floor, whatever feels the most comfortable. And then allow your head to get nice and heavy here, and then see if you can tune back in to the back bottom of your ribs, and just notice the breath in the back side of your body. Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, come up nice and slow. We're going to swing the legs around and find our way into a tabletop position. So just spin those legs out and then find your way onto all fours. If you need to, double stack your mat, do anything that feels good so your knees feel happy about this all fours position. And then once you found your way there, we're just going to take a little bop of the hips side to side, like you're trying to drop your hips towards the earth. Awesome. One more little bop of the hips side to side, or even yourself out. And then as you come back to center, right into puppy pose. Keep your hips in line with your knees. Walk your hands forward, drop your chest and forehead down. Take 3 nice big breaths here. When you're ready, nice and easy, walk it back up into that tabletop position. Make sure your wrists are in line with your shoulders, and then slide your right leg back and the leg lifts so it's straight out from your hip. Nice. And then we're going to take that right knee, tuck it behind the left like a little curtsy in this all fours position, and then lift it up and swing it out nice and wide and let your toe touch the ground. Beautiful. Pick it up, tuck your knee behind your knee, and then pick it up, swing it out nice and wide, let the toe touch the ground. Awesome. One more just like that. Pick it up, tuck your knee behind your knee, Beautiful. Swing it out nice and wide. And then keep it out nice and wide into a gate position. So we're going to bring our hands to our hips into a nice high kneel. Right hand to the thigh, left hand reaches up. Take a nice big side bend. Beautiful. Lift it up, float your hands back down to the ground. Slide that leg in, and we're going to take it to the other side. Left leg is going to extend out nice and long, straight out from the hip. Take that left knee, tuck it behind the right, and then swing it out nice and wide, touch the floor out at the side. Beautiful. Pick it up, tuck the knee behind your knee, lift it up and swing it out nice and wide. Wonderful. One more just like that. Bring it in. Send it out nice and wide. Keep it there. Hands to the hips as we come up to that high kneel position into our gate pose. Left hand down, right hand reaches up. Take a nice big side bend. Beautiful. Lift it up nice and slow. Float your hands down to the ground. Slide that left leg in, and then we're going to curl both sets of toes under. Pull your butt back to your heels. Get a little stretch to the toes, to the bottoms of the feet. Take a nice big breath. And then when you're ready, come forward into tabletop, but keep the toes curled under. Lift right up into a downward facing dog and start to pedal out the legs. Bend one knee and press into the opposite heel. Beautiful. When you're ready, look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to a folded ragdoll at the top of the mat. So feet about hip or shoulder distance apart, make some space for your belly and your chest. Let your spine hang nice and heavy here. Let your head get nice and heavy. See if you can let go of any gripping or holding in the muscles in the back of the neck. Take 3 nice big breaths. Nice. From here, we're going to take 3 halfway lifts. So as you inhale, you're going to lift from the low belly, lengthen out through the spine. Hands are going to find the shins, and then exhale, soften back down to the ground. Bend your knees, soften your spine. Inhale to half forward fold. So hands glide to the shins. We lengthen the spine. Beautiful. Exhale, bend your knees and soften back down. One more just like that. Inhale to that half forward fold position. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, nice and slow and controlled. And then roll your shoulders around, down and back, and then just give yourself a second to get situated at the top of your mat, finding your mountain pose. Toes and knees pointing fairly forward, feet about hip or shoulder distance apart. And then we're just going to tune in for a moment back down to our feet. So lift your toes, spread your toes as wide as you can, and then pull your heels energetically in towards each other. So we want to get this idea of like wrapping up through the backs of the legs. Feel a little lift from the insteps of your feet. And once you feel like you've got this nice energetic lift coming from your feet, soften your toes back down to the ground and let your hands come down at your sides, lifting up through the crown of your head. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees, hinge from your waist, fold down to the ground. Inhale to half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders around, down and back. Nice. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale, bend your knees and fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. This time, press firm into your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, press your palms together, elbows nice and wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot, peel your right heel up, but keep your big toe on the ground. Lift just a little taller through the crown of your head, like you're taking a little traction of the spine. And then release that heel down, shift your weight over to your right foot, pick your left heel up, big toe stays on the ground, and then find that traction again, pulling upward from the crown of the head. Beautiful. Set that foot down, let your hands come down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, totally up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down. Step the right leg back into a high lunge. We're going to keep the knee lifted, heel lifted, heart forward, look forward. Take a breath here. Plant your palms, step back to a plank. Lower your knees, rotate your eyes of your elbows, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control onto your belly. One low cobra here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down. Push your way up into a tabletop position. Extend the right leg straight out from the hip. We're going to tuck it behind the left knee and you swing the left foot over to the right side of your mat. So now we're going to get that little crisscross where the toes are pointing in opposite directions. Pull your bum back to your heels. Bring yourself back up. Unwind your legs, curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, bend your knees a lot, pull your abdominal muscles in, roll up to a standing position, roll your shoulders around, down and back. Pause just for a moment and find that bit of intention in your mountain pose. Lift up through the crown of your head, feet nice and grounded on the floor. Inhale, arms up and look up. Exhale and fold, knees bent or straight, that's up to you. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back, high lunge. Heel stays lifted, knee stays lifted, heart forward, look forward, take a breath. Beautiful. When you're ready, plant your palms, step it back to plank. Right away, bring your knees down, rotate the eyes of your elbows, hug your elbows into your ribs, lower with control onto your belly. One low cobra here. Inhale, lift your heart up. Exhale to lower down, push your way up into a tabletop position. Left leg is going to stretch straight out from the hip. And then we're going to take that left knee, tuck it behind the right as you swing your right toes over to the left side of your mat. So we get those toes pointing in opposite directions. Pull your butt back to your heels. Take a nice big breath. Come forward, unwind your legs, curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale and sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, press the palms together, elbows stay nice and wide. Shift your weight over to your left foot, peel your right heel up, pick the knee up away from the floor. Pause just for a breath. And then when you're ready, set that foot down, shift your weight over to your right foot, peel your left heel up, and then pick the thigh up away from the floor. Awesome, one good breath. And then release that foot down, hands come down at your sides. Inhale, arms up and look up. Hands are gonna meet, chest is gonna lift as you look up. Exhale and fold everything down. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, right leg back, high lunge. Keep the heel lifted, knee lifted, heart forward, look forward, take a breath. And then from here, right hand's gonna stay on the ground, left hand's gonna reach up for a little twist. Beautiful, left hand comes down to the ground, step that front foot back to plank. From here, lower your knees or lower in chaturanga if you like, lowering down to the ground with control, inhaling up to a cobra just as high as you like. Beautiful, exhale to lower down, push your way up into a tabletop position. Right leg is gonna shoot straight out from the hip. We're gonna swing the left toes over to the right, tuck the right knee behind the left, pull your butt back toward your heels. And this time, if it feels good, you're gonna go a little bit further, sit all the way back onto your hips with that left leg on top. Left hand is gonna be on the bottom. We're gonna wrap around into a little eagle arms and then just a little bow here. Elbows are gonna come towards the knees. Take a nice big breath. Awesome, and then lift up with control. Unwind your arms, float your way forward into a tabletop position. So we're gonna unwind those legs, take your time, pop your hips out a little bit if you need to, and then when you're ready, curl your toes under, exhale up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, press firm into your feet. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. Hands to heart center, hands down at your sides. Inhale, arms up, hands meet, chest lifts as you look up. Exhale as you fold. Inhale to a half forward fold. Exhale to soften down, left leg back. We take that high lunge to the other side. Heel lifted, knee lifted. Pause there and take a breath. Awesome. And then left hand's going to stay down on the ground. Right hand's going to reach up for a little twist. Beautiful. Bring that hand down to the ground, plant your palms, step back to a plank, lower your knees or lower in chaturanga if you like, coming all the way down onto the belly, inhaling up to a cobra just as high as you like. Exhale to lower down, push your way up into a tabletop position. And then extend that left leg out as you swing the right toes over to the left side of your mat. Tuck your left knee behind the right. Beautiful. So now the toes are pointing in opposite directions, knees are stacked. Pull your butt back to your heels. And then if it feels good to do so, sit all the way back on your hips. Nice. And now with that right leg on top, right hand is going to come on the bottom. Wrap your arms around, find those eagle arms. Nice. And then just a little fold forward, elbows towards the knees. Take a nice big breath here. Beautiful. When you're ready, lift up, unwind your arms, float yourself forward into that tabletop position. Take a moment, unwind your legs, shake out anything that you need to. And then when you're ready, curl your toes under and lift up to downward facing dog. Look forward, walk your feet up to meet your hands, come to forward fold at the top of your mat. From here, inhale to a half forward fold just to find that little bit of length in the spine. Exhale to soften down, and then we're going to start to find our way down to the ground. So pick up your heels, bend your knees, float your bum down to your heels. Find a little bit of balance here. Lift your fingertips away from the floor. If you can, bring your prayer hands to heart center. Get a little taller. One more breath. Nice. And then we're just going to float those hands down to the ground. Sit back on your butt. Bring the soles of the feet together into your little cobbler's pose or butterfly position. So your diamond shape can be nice and close towards the groin or a little further away, just depending on the variations in your hip and what feels the most comfortable. But give a second to get settled into that shape. And then once you feel like you can sit up nice and tall, lifting up through the crown of your head, exhale, lean your heart forward just a little bit. Inhale and come right back up. Exhale, lean your heart forward just a little bit. Inhale and come up. Beautiful. One more time. Exhale, lean your heart forward. Inhale and come up. Cool. And then we're just going to take our little bear balance. So just take a little peek around and make sure there's nothing behind you if you happen to roll backwards. So you just don't want to make sure you have a clear spot so you could fall, land softly. So we're going to take our peace fingers, grab hold of your big toes, lean back into your sits bones, and then just see if you can lift your heels away from the floor. And here you are. You're already in your balance. If this feels great to be here, stay right here. If it feels nice to find a little play, stretch your right leg out just as long as feels good. And then bend and bring it back in. And then maybe take it to the left. Left leg extends out. And then bring it back in. Nice. And then if it feels good to do so, take both legs, stretch them out just as wide as feels good. Beautiful. Bend and bring it in with control. Float those heels down to the ground. Release your toes. Grab the backs of your thighs. Curl your tailbone under. Roll your way down to the ground with control. Once you found your way down, give a second. Let your body settle into the floor, readjust your clothes, readjust your hair, take that little bit of time for yourself. And then we're going to move right into supine twist. So pull your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg nice and long. When you're ready, take that right knee over and across the body. Right arm opens out nice and wide, head turns to the right if that feels good. And then take a moment here just to kind of tune back in. Notice the breath in your ribs. Can you notice the breath in the backside of your ribs as well? Take one more breath. And then when you're ready, bring that right knee back into the chest. We're going to slide the left knee in, taking it right into a figure four. So take your right leg across the left into a figure four position. Lift the left leg up, thread your hands through, grab the back of the thigh, draw it in, take one good breath here. Nice. And then with control, release that left foot down to the ground. Step your right foot off. Pause just for a moment and notice how one side feels a little different than the other. And then when you're ready, pull the left knee into your chest. Slide your right leg nice and long. Supine twist to the other side. Take that left knee over and across the body. Left arm opens out nice and wide. Head turns to the left if that feels good. Can you tune in and notice the breath in the backside of your ribs? And then when you're ready, pull that left knee back into the chest, slide the right leg in, set yourself up into that figure 4 position. Left leg comes across the right. Pick the right leg up if that feels good. Thread your hands through, grab the back of the thigh or the top of the shin, draw it in for a little squeeze and take a nice big breath here. Awesome. When you're ready, nice and slow, release that right leg, step the left leg off. We're going to send the right leg up towards the ceiling. So think a single leg up the wall. And then we're going to give that leg a nice gentle shake, just to invite a little softness into the legs, a little softness into the ankle, a little movement of the lymphatic fluid, and let gravity do a little work for you here. Take 1 or 2 more good shakes of that leg. And then when you're ready, float that foot down to the ground, pause for a moment. Notice how one leg might feel a little different than the other. And then when you're ready, lift your left leg up and then give that leg a nice gentle shake. Allow a little bit of looseness in the tissue so you feel that nice vibrational work going on. Beautiful. Take 1 more good shake of that leg. And then when you're ready, gently float that foot back down to the ground. Toe heel your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Take a couple of windshield wipers here. Invite a little bit of soothing back into the hips and a little softness back into your low back. And then ask your body here, where would be your best Shavasana? Would it feel good to come back to constructive rest and let the knees drop in towards each other? Would it feel good to get a little bit more action in the hips, come into a reclined cobbler's pose? Or would it feel good to walk your feet long to the end of your mat? So take a second to find a place that would be your best place to find a little stillness. If you are taking reclined cobbler's pose, just for a little bit of support, it might be nice to tuck some pillows or yoga blocks under the outsides of your thighs so that you don't have to effort too much and you can find a little softness there. But choose your own adventure, which version is going to suit you best, and then allow a moment or two to let your body settle into place. Close your eyes down or just soften your gaze and allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. And gently wake up your fingers and wake up your toes. Maybe invite some gentle movement into your wrists and your ankles. If it feels good to do so, maybe turn your head a little bit side to side. And then when you feel good and ready to take that deeper breath back into your body, find that big good morning stretch like a yawn. Stretch your arms up and overhead, reach from fingers to toes. Take a nice big inhale. Find a little softness on your exhale. And then slowly and mindfully find your way up to a comfortable seated position. Come up in any way that suits your body best. Awesome. And then just take a second to wiggle into place. Settle into your sits bones. Find that nice tall lifted spine. We're going to clap our hands together, fire up the palms, get them nice and good and hot. And then once you feel like your hands are nice and good and hot, we're going to find those bony hip points or just the sides of your hips. You're going to place your hands there, close your eyes down, take a nice big breath in. Nice slow breath out. Clap your hands back together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once your hands feel good and hot, right to the low belly. So below the belly button, but above the hip points, take a nice gentle breath in. Nice slow breath out. Bring your hands back together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once they feel good and hot, right to the solar plexus, so above the belly button, but below the ribs. Place your hands there, close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Clap your palms together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once your hands are good and hot, we're going to stack them right on top of the heart. So one hand on top of the other, close your eyes down, take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. Clap your hands together, fire up those palms, get them nice and good and hot. And then once your hands are good and hot, you're going to clip your thumbs and just gently cup your hands around your throat. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. For this next one, if you're wearing glasses, just take them off, set them somewhere safe, fire up your palms, get them nice and good and hot. Once they feel good and hot, you're going to place the heels of your hands right into your eye sockets with a gentle bit of press. Take a nice deep breath in. Nice slow breath out. And then when you're ready, one last time, clap those hands together, fire them up, get them nice and good and hot. And then like a big good morning stretch, but we're going to take our temple mudra. So interlace the fingers, pointers up, take a big stretch up to the sky, feel your ribs lift a little bit, take a nice big breath in, and then float those hands right to heart center, unwrap your fingers, close your eyes down, bowing your head to your heart. Breathing in love and gratitude for yourself, for your mind, for your body, and for all of your hard work. And I send my love and gratitude out to you. Thank you so much for sharing your morning with me. Gently lift up through the top of your head, gently open your eyes. If you're blind like me, throw your glasses back on. I bow to you. Happy Saturday.